Okay, so we're back. Had to take a quick break. Peace. How does peace engineering work? Well, it's kind of like cooking. And you need to eat. Some people think a lot about the engineering of cooking and enjoy eating more. Same thing with peace. Um, you don't have to charge for a plate of peace, though. So here we go. The rudiments of engineering peace are understanding something that's universal and is in all of us. It's making this connection happening. Uh, it's the common element that quantum entanglement, if you want to get into quantum mechanics, uh, seems to point to linking. I mean, no, everything's linked. The older you get, the more you realize shit's linked. So, how's it link? What's the energy? What's the transmission line? What's going on here? How can we get out of touch with it? How do we get back into touch with it? Well, think of it as a current. It's a non-physical current. It's an energy. Who knows? It might be dark energy, energy that has unlimited potential. Anyway, how do you get into this energy? Well, it's pretty vague because it's everywhere. So you got to get real small. And getting small means putting the self into perspective in the universe. That's simple enough to do. The self is still there. It's just put into perspective. A little beyond global or tribal or whatever. Scale, right? General versus special relativity. Thanks for that. So how do you find the way that link works? Is you look for a type of energy in your inner process of letting stuff go. You look for that energy that just is. It's nothing yet. It just is. Let's call that, because we like to put labels on stuff down here. Yeah, we like to put labels on stuff. Let's just call it good. Yeah. However many zeros you want. From 0 to infinity. Covers the whole spectrum of energy, both light and dark, physical and non-physical. It kind of makes a little sense. And here's the intuition. This is what we're trying to tap into. What's intuition? It's good. It's the energy we've experienced in spirit form before we're entrapped in a physical system that's hard to get out of if you forget how to do it through breath. Anyway, that's another a fun conversation we can have. I say conversation because I'm certifiably not certifiably crazy. I'm not certifiable. I'm uncertified, and I'm not crazy because once you learn to transcend the purely physical concept, you see how the peace process works and the engineering of peace and the probability of that versus destroying peace. Well, that's, I think most people would prefer not to be hit or bullied or what have you by lesser understanding spirits stuck in bodies, not knowing they're basically spirits. So this is the disconnect that a lot of humans experience. And a lot of it could be addressed and alleviated to some degree, not completely, but would give some insight if we kept the insight going. And it starts at an early age. You see kids 4 or 5 years old, they're still pretty free-minded. Between that and 10, we really would probably want to keep them open-minded, open probability. Besides, we want them to learn anyway, more than maybe just we know, that think we're teaching them. Maybe we're just coaching them. Who knows? Discovery, life, peace engineering. What's good? What are the degrees of good? Why do we have opposite concepts of good? Isn't it just a lack of understanding rather than something that wants to fight any degree of good? It's kind of what you learn in martial arts. And here, yeah. And it's the native way, it's the ancient human way. It's been known as the forgotten way, the blue star way. It's been called many things, labels. You find it in here, in breath. When you get into breath, thinking about it, could be aerobic activity at work even, or you're in the zone working and you're in breath, and great ideas come up then. Basically, how to get your work done quicker so you don't have to work, etc., as Yul Brynner said. So, engineering good, everyone can do it to some degree. Even if they're not doing it, they're doing it to a unmeasurable degree. They're still doing it. They're still living. They just haven't realized why they're living temporarily. And once you realize it's about engineering peace, tapping into the good, hey, everything else starts to fall into place. So fall into your breath, fall into life. It's tough, but here we are, and there's lots of people to talk to about. Once we've gone in here and have something to talk about, then the interesting talk begins around the fire. So we'll call that it for part 2 of engineering peace through understanding good. Bowl, 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 bowl. When the heart and the lung, and what happens when you stoke the flame of spirit through breath, mindful action, peace. It's really pretty easy. Any of those who think you have to fight for peace, I don't know. Come on. It's easier to go in here and find the peace than try to fight for peace, if you know what I mean. Anyone who's been a fighter along the way, I mean, all humans are. Life is a fight, but I mean physical. Yeah, we don't need to see fighting, and we don't need that. It's not natural. It's distracting us from being able to travel beyond our planet to be able to get along well enough to survive a trip to other planets, let alone beyond the solar system. And how? Even if we want to go there physically, once we realize how to go through there, through touching the good that's in us, tapping onto that interconnectedness, quantum entanglement, boom. Where do you want to go? How long? Why? Is it all about you? Or more folks too? There's a key right there. Lots of songs have been written about it. Is it you or all of us? Or everything included? That's coffee. This is love. 3 times it goes from forehead chakra, throat chakra, heart chakra. 3 threes. Bingo. Peace.